Hey guys, welcome to my database course. Uh, so, first thing first, a little about me. I have been working with databases for 18 years and off for the last 2 or 3 years. I have gotten into cloud architect positions, but I still work very heavily with databases. I started working with databases Oracle 7.3, and the databases I've handled not like all the way tiny 10 megabytes, hundreds of databases to like the biggest database I worked with 80 terabytes. Now 80 terabyte doesn't sound a whole lot, but relational databases, that's a huge deal. But we'll get to that in time. Uh, you guys are of course wanting to get certified, so these are my certifications. 8I, I started with 8I, 9I, 10G, 11G, 12C, and after that I branched out like over the last 7 or 8 years. I'm going more Postgres, MySQL, SQL Server. Uh, and for those, I think I got only one SQL Server certificate on one night study, but I don't really feel like mentioning it. Okay, so coming back to what is your expectations from this course? Just get certified, learn to write uh, SQL, or like LinkedIn has these little tiny SQL courses that you can click, and it posts on your profile that you have taken a SQL course. Nobody values that. This is not going to give you the official certification. Uh, and if that is your goal, like this is not the right course for you. The other way of doing things, which is don't want to feel like a snob, but people are misguiding people. Like certifications have been blown out of proportion. Certifications don't do anything. You have, but if I could tell you the number of certified people I have rejected in interviews, I have hired about 100 or 200 people. People get certified, but they can't actually do the work because they don't understand what they got certified for. You know how to write a select statement, but you don't know why you're writing the select statement. How do you join the data in three tables? If it is the right way of joining the tables, like those questions, if you can't answer them, you can't write efficient SQLs. And if you're writing a SQL that's taking 5 minutes to execute, nobody wants that. So for that, you need to understand what goes on under the hood. And so that would be my question. Do you want to be a successful IT professional who can solve any SQL problem and demand the terms of your compensation? And by that, I mean, I am 42 years old now, and kind of poor because of all the shenanigans that I've been doing over the last 10, 15 years, climbing mountains, like hiking Denali and wanting to go to Mount Everest. So that has eaten my money. But at the age of 25, I was dictating my terms, how much money I would want to work in that particular job at the age of 25, and that didn't change. I didn't keep my money, that's a different story. Uh, but that's where you would be if you can be a good database professional, because databases are at the center of everything. Data is at the center of everything, and RDBMS manages structural data, which is which handles the most crucial data of any organization. So bunch of database systems out there. The four that we will be talking about: Oracle, Postgres, SQL Server, and MySQL. SQL Server and Oracle as paid databases. Oracle is kind of going out of the road, but it's an amazing database. Postgres and MySQL are open source, but we will be learning SQL. And SQL, there is a standard for what SQL needs to be, and that's created by ANSI. Uh, it's a regulating body. I don't remember the long form off the top of my head, but it is something dictated by a third party which say this is how SQL should be. So everybody, every database vendor, every RDBMS vendor implements those SQL standards. Plus, they have their own features. So we will try to delve into those as well. So coming back to be able to be a successful database professional, you need to understand Why do we need the databases? So that will be the first thing we'll address. Then we would understand how a database is organized. Anybody can write SQL, and like literally, I can give you a link, which is a phenomenal SQL training, and you can go through that. And by the end of the day, you'll be writing SQL statement. You don't need to take my course for that. So we need to understand how a database works, and once you get that, that we're not doing bits and bytes, but like an overall generic concept, and I'll make it as easy as possible to understand. But you need to understand the theory, and it's not going to be boring. I promise you that. And so once you have that, you will know what's the right way of doing things, what's the wrong way of doing things. And then you can learn to build great solutions. And the solution would, of course, involve select inserts and updates, and we will write plenty of those. But before that, you need to understand the basics. Uh, if that's not something you want to do, this is not the course for you. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next course, next chapter.